Hello there, it's a pleasant welcome to the National News Bulletin File on Star Television Network on Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. First, the headlines. The Director General of the National Social and Security Trust, NASIT, Mohammed Fuad Dabo, has described the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the National Revenue Authority as the best possible collaboration aimed at strengthening the revenue generation drive.
Over the period, the two institutions have been grappling with the issue of data management and sharing, particularly so in terms of how can we use our institutions to be able to move our activities forward as mandated by the different acts that we operate with.
Thursday, 8th August 2019, the Global Fund and its partners has concluded a two-day retreat at the Place Hotel Toke in the Western Area Rural District.
For us as a country, the key stakeholders who are involved in the Global Fund grant implementation to come together and look at the root causes of the low absorption of the past grants.
Marie Stopes Sierra Leone has on Wednesday, 7th August 2019, launched and received a toll-free 3535 line from Seratel as part of their corporate social responsibility at Marie Stopes Conference Hall, Aberdeen in Freetown.
We have been really misled about Marie Stopes, but I believe today the media and our friends will always go back and tell people what Marie Stopes does.
On Tuesday, August 6, 2019, the Western Area District Council, in partnership with the Office of National Security as coordinating agency in disaster management, including non-governmental organizations, has begun a week-long assessment visit to possible disaster-prone areas in places like Waterloo, Motome, where disasters may likely occur.
Assessment team being organized because we want to know exactly the place that we being affected by the flood. We come Friday, and we try for develop a system where in ABC we know we get double registration.
As part of the extension of the 4G network across the country, Orange Mobile Company has officially launched the 4G network in the southern region of Bo and the eastern province of Kenema.
This is a landmark occasion for us here today because this is the second city that we're launching our 4G. Indeed, the Paramount Chief made a statement or indicated that earlier.
And in sports, the Sierra Leone Football Association, in collaboration with the Ministry of Sports, will conduct local interviews for over 6 applicants who applied for the Leones' head coach job.
We've started the interview process of those who are shortlisted. We had about 28 applicants, 21 foreign coaches, and then 7 local coaches. Today, the interview process has started.
All this, including weather and currency updates, will be part of the bulletin. It's now time for the news in detail with me, Sienna Wright. The Director General of the National Social and Security Trust, NASIT, Mohammed Fuad Dabo, has described the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the National Revenue Authority on data management and data sharing as the best possible collaboration aimed at strengthening the revenue generation drive. Let's go in for that report.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you as you witness the signing of the MOU between NASIT and NRA.
Speaking during the signing ceremony, the Commissioner General, National Revenue Authority, Dr. Samuel Jabao, reiterated the importance of the MOU against the backdrop of effective partnership in the areas of data sharing and data collection of both taxpayers and scheme contributors.
Today we are here to sign an agreement to sign an agreement that is going to have a very strong bond between the NASIT and the NRA. And let me just explain that for us at the National Revenue Authority, this agreement is very critical because currently we are undertaking a lot of reforms. And one of the biggest reforms which we are doing now is that of the integrated tax administration system. And what that means is that that system is not only going to integrate our own operations, but it's also going to interface with some key external players. And of course, you know that NASIT is very critical. We do collect one of the key taxes that is driving our revenues out of the PAYE.
He expressed delight over the realization of the binary relationship, noting that the National Revenue Authority is more than determined to realize its 20% target and committed the authority's compliance to the Memorandum of Understanding. Mohamed Fouad Dabo, Director General, National Social and Security Trust, revealed that the signing of the MOU is the best possible collaboration aimed at strengthening the revenue collection drive as well as making meaningful contribution to the scheme. He expressed optimism that both institutions will foster the spirit of cooperation to share data information where and when necessary and not to transgress on the privacy protection of both taxpayers and scheme contributors.
Today, I feel so satisfied for a dream comes true. Over the period, the two institutions have been grappling with the issue of data management and sharing, particularly so in terms of how can we use our institutions to be able to move our activities forward as mandated by the different acts that we operate with. And what you saw this morning at the conference room of our headquarters, it is one of the things that when I took over the establishment, I set myself a target that all institutions that have direct link with our operations, i.e. NRA, NCRA, these are the institutions that I'm targeting in terms of our data sharing. And once we do this, the ease of processing and managing our data become easier. That is what we have suffered over the period, and I believe that it's the right direction we have taken this morning. And I'm so happy with our partners, the NRA folks.
The National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT, on Sunday, January 13, 2019, celebrated 16 years of excellent service since its establishment in 2002. For Star News in Freetown, Sienna Wright reporting. The Global Fund and its partners has on Thursday, 8 August 2019, concluded a 2-day retreat at the Place Hotel Toke in the Western Area Rural District to identify key challenges that leads to low fund assumption. Alfie Barry has more.
There is a body of report that shows that Sierra Leone loses millions of dollars in grants to donor partners, largely because of lack of accountability and poor coordination between the government and its implementing partners. It is against this backdrop that global funds and its partners, such as the HIV Secretariat, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Focus 1000, have held a 2-day retreat at the Place Hotel Toke.
We call it a Country Portfolio Retreat 2019. And the objective of having this retreat is for us as a country, the key stakeholders who are involved in the Global Fund grant implementation to come together and look at the root causes of the low absorption of the past grants. Because if we look at 2016 to 2017 grant absorption, it's very, very low. And we lost huge amount of money. You know, a poor country like Sierra Leone losing such amount of money, there is need for us to look at, let's change the narrative and look at why is this happening? How can we address it? How can we do it as a country so that we can track, the causes of this problem, so that we can address it, so that we can implement the good things.
Then Michael Tucker pointed out that Sierra Leone has not been able to attract enough grants from donor partners because these donor partners have set standards that we have not been able to meet over time. But however, expressed optimism that this retreat will present a unique opportunity in which these outstanding loopholes will be highlighted and dealt with. The Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Anthony Augustine Sandi, expressed delight for such a good initiative and promised global funds of the government's commitments in implementing whatever findings that may come out of this retreat.
I think the lack of using all the grants in the past years has been due to poor planning and commitment at the same time. But this trip, this time, we are going to make the best use of the grants given to us, especially in the cure of these killer diseases you have just mentioned, that is HIV/AIDS, TB and malaria. These are killer diseases in this country, in Sierra Leone. And so we are going to make use of that. We are going to make sure that we use this resource. The point is, the retreat itself is about finding out the causes, the root causes of not having the chance to make use of all these grants given to the country. And that is the more the reason we are here today. The retreat is going on.
When speaking to Star, Alhaji Bailo Jallow, who is the head of Focus 1000, stated that the objectives of this retreat is to identify root causes for low absorption, identify strategic and actionable interventions targeting root causes in order to increase absorption rates.
The oversight committee, people who are involved, who are sort of implementing, the Global Fund activities in Sierra Leone. The Global Fund is a grant which is provided to support HIV/AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis in Sierra Leone. And we have key partners. The major recipient is the Ministry of Health, but then we have other partners, looking at HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. So we are here today to do a reflection, to see how we are performing. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the successes? What are some of the challenges we have? So that in the end, we can build on the successes and then see how we can address the challenges.
One of the participants from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Emily Kouma, noted that there are outstanding bottlenecks, especially when it comes to implementation. As he said, most grants comes in the name of Government of Sierra Leone, but are not implemented by the government. He called for close coordination and proper planning between the ministries and implementing partners. For Star Good Morning Show, Alfie Barry reporting.
Maristop Sierra Leone has on Wednesday, 7th August 2019, launched and received a toll-free 3535 line from Seratel as part of their corporate social responsibility at the Maristop's Conference Hall, Aberdeen in Freetown. Atma Samai has the detail.
The new managing director of Seratel, Fode Sanko, said the government recognized Maristop as a strong development partner in the area of sexually reproductive health for women and girls. He noted that as a national telecommunication company that provides service for the government and the people of Sierra Leone, they are delighted to be part of such initiative that Maristop has carried out, and added that this kind of program will greatly enhance the health status of women and girls in Sierra Leone.
I bring you felicitations and truly from the truly indigenous service provider, Seratel. Seratel, how are you? As a national telecommunication service provider owned by the government and the people of Sierra Leone, we pride ourselves by aligning the brand with the program and that of our national interest and significance. Today is a milestone. A need for the people's company, Seratel, to support a worthy cause championed by Maristop in providing this toll-free line, which is geared towards addressing the challenges and difficulties we face with our sexual and reproductive health.
Giving a press statement, the Public Sector Director, Maristop Sierra Leone, Emmerich Akin, said Seratel has offered Maristop a toll-free telephone number, which is 3535, that is billed for all arriving calls at a cost to Seratel, but 100% free to Sierra Leoneans who call from Seratel network, which makes it's possible for all subscribers countrywide to call Maristop free of charge and access quality reproductive health services.
As we take a look back at our AFIA accomplishments for year 2019, as Director Benia has just presented, I am sure some of you will be thinking, we have been really misled about Marie Stopes. But I believe today, the media and our friends will always go back and tell people what Marie Stopes does. And I could see the smile on the lady's face from NATCOM and that of our new managing director. Wow, does Marie Stopes do all of this? Yes, indeed, we do. And you saw it in the numbers. So please take the news out that this is what Marie Stopes does. And during the same time, we're about to sign a memorandum of understanding with government of Sierra Leone's telecommunications gateway holder, the great Sierratel, who have now joined the other sister telecommunications companies to provide an 100% client-clear toll-free line for Sierra Leoneans to receive sexual reproductive health information, education, and services as part of a corporate social responsibilities.
Marie Stopes Sierra Leone is part of a global partnership of Marie Stopes International operating in 37 countries, providing personalized contraception and post-abortion care service to women and girls. For Star TV News in Freetown, I am Adma Samai reporting.
As part of an ongoing assessment in disaster-prone areas, the Western Area District Council, in partnership with the Office of National Security as coordinating agency in disaster management, including non-governmental organizations, has on Tuesday, August 6, 2019, began a week-long assessment visit to possible disaster-prone areas in places like Waterloo, Montgomery, where disasters may likely occur. Andrew Bestman reports.
As part of an ongoing assessment in disaster-prone areas, the Western Area District Council, in partnership with the Office of the National Security as coordinating agency in disaster management, including non-governmental organizations, as on Tuesday, August 6, 2019, began a long-week assessment visit to possible disaster-prone areas in places like Waterloo, Montgomery, where disasters may likely occur. According to the Deputy Chairman of the district, Robert Brown, the assessment visit is to ascertain and examine all possible disaster areas and to map out strategies on how they could evacuate residents within those areas in situation of disaster.
Assessment team being organized because we want to know exactly the place that we being affected by the flood. We come Friday, and we try for develop a system where in ABC we know we get double registration. Now the different people that when ABCs being affected, we want exactly, and we don't want no influx of number into them. Them particular people and they, because the last time something like that they be happy. So because of that, we try for do a proper assessment. We and the Freetown City Council and ONS try for see how BCS we can do this joint registration for like we get exactly with people them we suffer from this flooding.
The Councillor for Ward 372, Abubakar Kamara, commended the team for visiting all areas where they believe disaster may occur, especially for the people residing in those different communities. He further stated that with the cleaning exercise undertaken within the respective communities, especially in Waterloo Market, had helped mitigate flooding in those communities.
We cover the market area are very much disaster-prone areas where water disturb people almost every year. It happens almost every year as a result of lawlessness. But thank God, the chairman will get an astute leader in the person of Castle J. Holland Cole. Like they put mechanisms in place, organize people, we all they come together for clean the areas and where the blockages that happen. And I want to say kudos for everybody who do this particular thing so that the water not too much disturb people around.
The assessment team was led by officials from the Western Area Rural District Council with support from the Office of the National Security as coordinating agency. It could be recalled that thousands of people have been displaced and dozens of houses submerged along the Freetown Peninsula amid heavy downpour of rain in the early of Wednesday, 7th August 2019. Displaced persons, mostly from Tombo village, are taken shelter in a community school, with the majority preferring to move with their relatives in safer areas. Andrew Bestman reporting.
If you're just joining us, this is the National News Bulletin File on Star Television Network on Channel 21. And as part of the extension of the 4G network across the country, Orange Mobile Company has officially launched the 4G network in the southern region of Bo and the eastern province of Kenema. Hilton John reports.
On behalf of the people of Kenema and Sierra Leone and the region, especially Eastern region, I want today, on behalf of my paramount chief and the chief of people, join hands with Orange Company to launch a 4G facility for the region and the township.
One of the leading telecommunication in the country, Orange, has posed to invest an additional $24 million to provide more sites and access to the telecommunication facilities in the country. Speaking at the launch of the Real 4G broadband internet in Kenema and Bo, the General Secretary, Orange Sierra Leone Afi Afna, disclosed that the company stands for providing access to the ICT facilities in Sierra Leone, adding that the launching ceremony of the Real 4G stands as a landmark for the people of Kenema and Bo.
And welcome to the launch of Orange 4G in Kenema. This is a landmark occasion for us here today because this is the second city that we're launching our 4G. Indeed, the paramount chief made a statement or indicated that earlier that this is the second city we're launching our 4G. This shows how important and how dear Kenema is in our hearts.
She added that the company has invested over $55 million to add modernized equipment and additional new sites across the country. She stated that Orange Sierra Leone. She added that the company has invested over $55 million to add modernized equipment and additional new sites across the country. She stated that Orange Sierra Leone is currently have 247 sites in 925 localities, with 105 modernized power stations across the country. The Chief Marketing Officer, Orange Sierra Leone, Alimatu Maui, said Orange stands to benefit Sierra Leoneans a lot in connecting everyone in the country. She maintained that Orange Sierra Leone will continue to grow and make life easy for everyone, adding that Orange is currently taking care of 50 Ebola orphans, adding that the company has also invested $1.5 million on the free education as part of the company's corporate social responsibilities, supporting the agenda of the new government. The paramount chief on Nongoa Chiefdom, PC Sadiq M. Kapoor Mato III, expressed thanks and appreciation to Orange Sierra Leone to consider its chiefdom as a second to benefit from the 4G facility.
And I want to say, on behalf of the people of Nongoa and Kenema particularly, that we are satisfied with your service. The 4G stuff that you've come up with now is something that will let us talk to our people in the surrounding villages. You see, I want to say something that people may actually sometimes shy from telling you. This chiefdom is the only chiefdom, I'm sure, that has the most connectivity that you can think of. You can move from anywhere, from Kenema to any part of this chiefdom, and you don't have any problem.
He appealed to Orange to always take its chiefdom as one of the priorities area for investment, especially on the telecommunication service. The mayor of Kenema City, Thomas Karumo Bao, who launched the 4G, thanked Orange Sierra Leone to choose Kenema as the second city to have access to the 4G facility. As a development, it perceived as the best option because the city requires a speedy internet opportunity because of its growing population. In Bo, the paramount chief of the southern region, PC Lai Boima, said on the official launch of the 4G that this is a good strive taken by Orange Mobile Company in developing human capital in that part of the country. Alimami Jallo, senior staff at Orange, said they will continue to give Sierra Leone good and quality services, call on stakeholders of both to continue using Orange network. Various speakers make meaningful contribution in the official launch of 4G network in the southern region of Bo and in the eastern part of the country in Kenema. For Star TV News in Freetown, I am Milton John reporting.
And now to round up the news sports. The Sierra Leone Football Association, in collaboration with the Ministry of Sport, will conduct local interviews for over 6 applicants who applied for the Leones' head coach job. So let's join our sport correspondent Hilton John for some sporting updates.
Hello everyone, welcome for today's sporting news. We start a local team. The Sierra Leone Football Association, in support with the Ministry of Sport, has begun interview for over 7 coaches who apply for the head coach of the national team to take the country in the 2021 campaign and also the World Cup. The Secretary General of the Football Association, Christopher Kamara, explained to Star Sports about the latest development.
But I think we sent out adverts for coaches to apply, and as it is today, we've started the interview process of those who are shortlisted. We had about 28 applicants, 21 foreign coaches, and then 7 local coaches. Today, the interview process has started. We are in 7 local coaches and 5 internationals. We are shortlisted. So the process is ongoing as I speak at the Ministry of Sports.
What the Football Association and the Ministry will be looking for?
We're looking for the most qualified, the most competent coach, be it local or foreign, that will be able to take Leon Stars to the dream of the nation. That is to qualify for the AFCON, Cameroon 2021, and then the World Cup Qatar 2022.
So what are we expecting the final names to be announced?
But as it is at the moment, based on the decision of the committee, whatever decision they come up with, that will be tabled at the executive committee, and once it is approved, then that person becomes the coach.
What are some of the names? What are some of the names?
Well,
what are some of the coaches?
For the coaches, local, we have Amidou Karim from Eastern FC Kalon. We have Abubakar Tostao Kamara is on attach at the moment. He was with El Edodians. We have Alaji Furi from Cambo Eagles. We have Charlie Wright from Eastern Lions. from FC Kalon. We have Coach John Kista from Eastern Lions. We have I'm trying to get rid of the other names.
Some of the international coaches apply.
With the international coaches, we have Goran Stefanovic, who was a former Ghanaian coach. We have Coach Selastete, he was a former coach from Ghana who won the Under-20 World Cup, and he was also with Sierra Leone. We have Peter Butler from England. He has been with top clubs and then had national assignments with the English football. And then we have Savo, he's a Swiss Spaniard. So these are the names that we're expecting to be interviewed.
So are we expecting the names to be announced hopefully next week?
Hopefully we are expecting the names to have been announced earlier before then, or maybe next week.
And in the interview is the Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Football Association. The question is, who will be the next Leon Stars coach? In the international team, David Luiz has joined Arsenal Football Club. It could be recalled that he was part of Chelsea football team who won the Champions League, the Premier League. He left the club, he returned back, but because of 1 or 2 controversy with Frank Lampard. But that's all for sports. Back to Isiana in the studio.
Well, that's all we have time for in the National News Bulletin File for the hour on Star Television Network on Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. Thanks for watching, and do stay with us because the weather and currency update is up next.